Greetings, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to visit my poster session. Disasters. They can happen just about anywhere and at any given time. While we do our best to anticipate or predict such events and implement early warning measures, the most important thing any of us can do is be prepared. Knowing what to do during and after a disaster can mean the difference between life and death. There are a number of barriers that may inhibit an individual's ability to become adequately prepared for a disaster. These barriers include, but are not limited to, a person's attitude, such as maintaining an out of sight and out of mind, or it can't happen to me mentality, having adequate knowledge on the subject, availability of resources, time, and financial constraints, to name a few. University students may face additional challenges to emergency preparedness and are particularly vulnerable in emergency situations. Some of us are old enough to remember the tornado that devastated the city of St. Peter, Minnesota, and the campus of Gustavus Adolphus College in 1998. What if a similar event were to happen at another campus? Would students be prepared to be without power or assistance for an extended period of time? What would they do? Who could they go to? Would they have the knowledge, skills, and supplies necessary to ensure their safety? While studies on emergency preparedness are not new, few, if any, studies to date have examined emergency preparedness among university students, which is exactly what we set out to do. Thanks to a faculty research grant from Minnesota State University Mankato and upon IRB approval, in October of 2020, a modified version of the Federal Emergency Management Association Personal Preparedness in America survey was distributed to a nationwide sample of university students using Qualtrics and yielding a sample of over 800 students. Data was then cleaned and analyzed using SPSS. The demographics yielded less than ideal results in regards to diversity, as most students were older, identified as white or Caucasian, and identified as not Hispanic or Latino. Some of the key findings from the study are as follows. Just shy of 19% of the participants rated themselves as very prepared for disaster/emergency situations. Over half the students have essential emergency preparedness supplies, such as bottled water, non-perishable food, and a flashlight. With that said, there is certainly room for improvement. In regard to perceived susceptibility to disasters, disease outbreaks were rated the highest, followed by natural disasters and acts of violence. Given the large number of variables assessed in this study, we could not obviously fit all of them in one slide, and we plan to submit the broader analysis within the year for publication. Some of the highlights not shown on this slide include the following. Less than half of the participants have engaged in some type of emergency preparedness training, whether it be CPR and first aid, visiting websites on emergency preparedness, and more. In regards to barriers to engaging in emergency preparedness, supplies being too expensive, not knowing where to get educational materials, not having adequate time, and believing that emergency responders and police will help them were identified as barriers, more so than some of the others. Approximately 18% of students were not familiar with their university emergency response guides or plans. The take-home message from this study is that university students should indeed be a priority population for emergency preparedness-focused health education and health promotion endeavors. The endeavor should focus on the areas noted on this slide. It is essential that universities begin to place emergency preparedness higher on their priority list, as it will be difficult to engage in such health education and health promotion endeavors without the appropriate political will. If there is any silver lining to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is the greater attention that is being paid to having a response plan and the importance of preparing for disasters. Please contact me if you would like to discuss more of the results of the study, and thank you again for your time today.